I'd like to speak to you now about hypnotizing children. A lot of people have noticed that I don't really hypnotize children, young children, in my office. But let me teach you what we do with children. First of all, children between age 0 and 2, so from birth to 2, are primarily in the delta brainwave state, which is a very deep hypnotic state already, a very slow brainwave state. Now, of course, you're in all brainwave states simultaneously, and on my webpage we have a lot of information about what brainwaves are and how they work. But basically it's the vibrations per second. It's a measurement of the electrical activity of your brain. And from age 2 to age 6, they're primarily in the theta brainwave state. Give you an example. Theta is the depth or the slowness of brain waves that you would be experiencing when you would normally fall off to sleep. Or when you're daydreaming even and you don't remember your daydreams because time went by so fast, timelessness, that's the theta brainwave state. From age 6 to age 12, they're in the alpha brainwave state. Where's alpha? Alpha is pretty much the beginning of the hypnotic state. Alpha is also known as the animal state. That's where your animals, your cats and your dogs are most of the time when they're just relaxing, hanging out. And of course from 12 on is the beta brainwave state. That's primarily. That's what most adults, your busy activity, your all the 5 senses when they're active, studying, testing, teaching, listening, okay, that's the beta brainwave state. That's where you can actually reason with someone. So if you think of it, from alpha down, especially when you're into the younger ages, there's no reasoning. Alpha, it would be like trying to reason with your cat. You can get just so far. How many times have you gone into a grocery store and saw some parent yelling at their 4-year-old child going like this, saying, "I told you not to do this, I told you not to do that." And they're trying to reason with the child. All the child is learning is how to do this. That's why when you go in the playgrounds, you'll see a lot of kids when they get angry at another one, pointing like this and acting like their parents. So basically, from birth to about age 12, children learn through observation only. So when your children are not behaved, your young children, it's not their fault, it's yours. It's their environment. It's the observations they're getting. You know, I read something recently that said in the course of a week, a child gets personal attention from the parent less than, I believe it was 3 minutes a week. Think of that, 3 minutes a week. That's not even 3 minutes a day. So who's raising our children if we're not giving them that much attention? So they're learning through observation from the way we react to our spouses, to the environment, to our friends in business. They're learning from what they're observing on television, what they're observing in school, what they're observing from your friends and your neighbors. They're always picking things up. You ever notice how a disbehaved child, or even some of them that use bad language, are just like the parents? They're just like little mini-me's, little mini versions of the parent. And sometimes you even hear the parents say, "Oh gee, you're acting just like your father, or just like your mother." That's why. It's observation. So they're in the hypnotic state already from basically age 12 and down, because they're alpha and deeper. So to have them sit in a chair and to try to go through all the relax your eyes and your nose and the progressive relaxation, it's ridiculous to do. First of all, they're not going to sit there. Secondly, they're already in the hypnotic state. You ever notice how children have such strong imaginations? Use their imagination to help them. Probably the best definition of hypnosis is being open to suggestion, and another definition is using your imagination. If you can imagine something, it can become a reality. So if you're trying to help your children to work with a certain behavior, whether it be bedwetting, nail biting, behaving at school, being more confident, being more assertive, simply take some time, have them sit down, close your eyes if they want to, they don't need to, but again, it's up to you, and have them imagine themselves as being confident. Have them imagine themselves as being assertive. Almost as if they're imagining themselves on the screen of a large movie theater. They're sitting in the theater watching themselves on the screen. Imagine yourself being whatever the successful behavior is you want them to be. Being confident. Imagine yourself not wetting the bed. Imagine yourself having a good night. There's so many different things you can do with children, all positive. This isn't to be used as punishment, okay? But using their imagination is what's going to change them. Now, something else you can do is called sleep hypnosis. Sleep hypnosis is coming into their room in the middle of the night when they're sleeping, okay? And it's very simple. All you need to do is tap on their finger and say, if you can hear Daddy or if you can hear Mommy, move your finger. If you can hear me, move your finger. And as soon as they move their finger, you're in. They're in the hypnotic state. They're ready to receive suggestions. Think about that. Okay, let's call this sleep and this being wide awake. Okay, somewhere in the middle is what is called the hypnagogic state. Big word. The hypnagogic state is a state between sleep and wakefulness. In a session with an adult, what we're trying to do is to relax them so much that we're getting them really close to the scale, or this middle line, without falling asleep. And then we give them the suggestions. But in sleep hypnosis, it'll only take you a couple seconds when you tap on their finger. If you can hear me, move your finger, and they're already at that level that may have taken a hypnotherapist half to 3/4 of an hour to get them at, or to get an adult at. Okay, so can you see that? If you can hear me, move your finger, and then give the suggestions. Now, the whole process of suggestions needs to be positive, needs to be simple, needs to be believable. Okay, do it in a quick, maybe a minute, 2 minutes tops. Give them the suggestions, positive reinforcement. Daddy loves you. You're a good little girl, a good little boy. Tomorrow at school, you are happy, you're positive, you feel confident. Give them suggestions in the present tense so they can imagine themselves being that way. And then, good night, have a good night's sleep, Daddy loves you, walk out of the room. The whole thing should be a minute or two, and you did the same thing as an adult would have had in an hour hypnosis session. So remember, they're already in the hypnotic state, so just have them use their imagination in the daytime or sleep hypnosis at night. And again, to create a habit takes a minimum of 21 days. So you may have to continue doing it day after day, or having them use their imagination, so they're rerouting the neural connections, is the scientific term, to create a habit, a new positive habit to replace the old one. Okay? So basically it's just giving them positive suggestion, taking advantage of their strong imagination, making it simple, making it a positive experience for them to learn from. And remember, it's not punishment, okay? You can't, don't use this to have them do the dishes or take out the trash, because you cannot hypnotize anyone to do anything against their will. So if they wouldn't do it normally, they're still not going to do it with hypnosis. It's just a waste of breath, okay? So positive things, positive reinforcement. That's it. Give it a try. Good luck.